All right, I'll get this started. So we're going to cover onboarding, creating your athletes, the different methods that you can do. So I'm going to cover just one-off user or coach creation, invite link, invite email, and then a mass import using our CSV importer, and then a quick overview of kind of what it looks like from one of those workflows as an athlete logging in for the first time. So I'm going to start off with training groups just so we have somewhere to dump all of our new users here. So I'm going to go ahead and on my side menu, I'm going to go under administration as an admin or coach and go right to organization. This will allow me to create new training groups, training teams and stuff like that, new users, and manage invites. We'll take a peek at that later, as well as managing our branding, login history and stuff like that. So pretty useful section here. But I'm just going to create a new team folder here. So we have our standard groups that come out of the box, our Stallions and Prospects demo and our empty user group. These can be deleted by your support person, or we could walk you through as well on your own. But I'm just going to create a new one. So I'm going to hit the folder here to add new demo group to here. So I'm going to enter and add that. And I can reorder it if I'd like. So if I go ahead and click this, I can click the up arrow to move it up the list and reorder my groups that way. It will reload every time. If you'd rather have your support team do this again, we can do this for you. But I'll leave that right here. What I need in a folder before I can add players or athletes to it is a subgroup or a group underneath it. So I'm going to hit this button here to create a new group, and we'll just call this example 1. So I'm going to add that. So now I can add users to that group. The one way I can do it is I can click on the name of the group and click on this user icon, and I can add existing users from the system right into it just by clicking on them, and they'll be dropped into that group. Or I can create new users. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of here to user organization management and jump into users. This is going to bring me a list of obviously my existing users, and then if I hit the plus, it's going to give me my options to create new users. So I can create a new athlete, which is simply enough. Creating a new coach gives them a bigger permission set, so they get the coach role as well as the athlete role when you create a new coach, so they can see the users, they can see the organization and all that stuff. And then I'll get into invite via email and link. Those are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll kind of walk through that process as well. So creating a one-off athlete, we're just going to click here, and we just really all we need is an email address. So I'm going to go ahead and just say example at example.com. You can do a first name, last name. The athlete can always edit their profile when they log in. Or you could do that. You can give them a date of birth. Go ahead and select that. They were born today. And then from there, you pop them into a training group. So I have my training groups here. I'm going to say this guy goes into forwards. And I can give him a jersey number. I can give him a position if I have them. Or I can create new tags. Maybe they are a soccer player. So you can go from there. Now, every athlete you create future can be put under that same tag. You can upload a photo. You can send automatically a welcome email that'll allow them to set their password, get in there and everything like that, and you're good to go. So we hit save and we're set. So that's nice and easy way to create our user here. Sometimes you need to refresh the screen. That's what I'm doing here so I can see my new created training group. So if I go back to organization, I should have it in there then. So I've got my new demo group there. All right, so that's nice and easy how to create a one-off athlete. There we go. We have last name, first name right here, and you can edit them. You can move them to a different group. You can change anything that you had already put in there, or at a quick glance, you can do email password reset if they forgot their password, can't log in, resend their welcome email if it expired. It expires in 2 days. If I hit my edit pencil, I'm here. I can go ahead and change their training group, put them in my new demo group, and I'm saved. Good there. Hit update, and I'm set. So again, pretty self-explanatory on there as far as creating a new user, but if you have a bunch of users you want to create all at once, the next easiest way to do so is to invite via email. Now this tool is super useful because if you have a list in Microsoft Word, Notepad or something like that, you can grab a list of emails all at once to go ahead and bring them all in. So I'm just going to create a quick list on the side here. Sorry about that. All right. So I created a list of 2 emails. So if I have a list, I could just paste it I have 2 emails. If I want to add them all to the same group, say new demo group, example 1, I paste and I give 2 emails. If you have a list of email addresses that have athletes with multiple groups, I would just pick a group off the bat and then scroll down those emails. Maybe example 3 is going to be a forward instead of being in the example group, whatever it may be. So you have that available to you right off of there. And then when you hit this little paper airplane icon, it's just going to send the invite email out to that athlete. They'll get it in their inbox. It's going to be very similar to our welcome email. They'll click that link and then they create their profile. So when they follow that link, they're going to enter in their first name, their last name, create a username and a password, and away they go. Since you invited them via email, there's no approval process because you already placed them into a group, so they're all set to jet. Last front-end way to import mass users is invite via link. This is super useful if you're going to pop it into a weight room or something like that. If you have a big group that can just scan a QR code, you can take any of our links into a QR code generator and print it out and post it on a wall so they can go ahead and join your platform. So if I create a new link, if I hit the plus link button, it's just going to generate an invite link for me. With this, what I can do is I can copy that link and paste it again into a QR code generator, no problem. But what I can do also is anybody that follows that link is going to type in an email address, first name and last name, and then they have to be approved. This way, if it's hanging in a public place, you have people maybe you don't want in your platform that scans the code, you have control over who is approved and who's not approved. So right now it says 0 users awaiting approval. Obviously, it's a brand new link. But if I copy that link, I'm going to go ahead and just log out and kind of show you that process on this real quick. So I'll log out. What the athletes do when they get that link, say they scan the QR code and they come to the login screen. Obviously, they're going to have to download the app first if they scan it on their phone or if they use the QR code scanner on their phone. The invite code goes right in after they download it in either the Google Play Store or the App Store. They have to obviously say, I'm not a robot, complete the CAPTCHA, and hit continue. Once that invite code is done, it brings you to demo.coachmeplus.com, which is the install and the group code that this link was generated for. And they create an email address. So I'm going to go ahead and use mine so I can show you the onboarding process. All right, so I hit continue as the athlete or a new user. I hit continue and it's going to tell me my registration request was received. So the administrator now has to approve me to log into the system. So I've created that. I'm going to bounce out and come back in as the administrator of the system. Now that I've sent that link out and I've got somebody waiting for approval, I come back in as the admin.
Packed response. So it's going to be like this tomorrow, too.
And I can go ahead and jump into organization. And now I manage invites. So I sent that link out, manage invites. It'll load up for me. Now I see I have 1 user awaiting approval. So I can add a coach to notify when a user joins with this invite link so that they get a poke, an email saying you have somebody waiting, or I can just come in and check. So now I see that Mike Gallivan wanted to get into the system. I can either dismiss it or say, yep, they belong here. Once I hit approve, I have the ability to place them in the training group, and then they'll get a welcome email in the system, or they'll go ahead and follow that link and log in. So jump them in, approve, and away they go. So a welcome email has been sent to this email address that was associated with that user. They typed it in themselves, so it's nice and easy for you as a coach. You don't have to worry about it, and you're good to go there. So they're approved, they're all set. So they'll get that email to go ahead and log into the system. I'll show that process at the end, the user experience logging in for the first time. So with that said, I have one more thing to show. I'm just going to show a quick formatting of how to get into the system or how to get mass users into the system if you have all their information using our CSV importer. So that's going to happen in the admin portal. So as an administrator, I'll tap my side menu, come over to the admin portal. I'll follow settings, security, and users. And what I'm going to do here from this is I'm going to go ahead and on that top right corner, instead of saying new coach or new athlete, I'm going to hit import. And we have a pre-made import template for you right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. So I click on it, my computer will download it. I open it, nice and easy. So once that opens up, it's going to give you an example of how to get people in the system. All right, so with this, I'm just going to go ahead and keep John Smith in there. I have an email address for John Smith and a username. I can create those however I want to with whatever formatting I want. The couple of things that you need to be aware of. Forced password change right now is a 1. That means yes. If you leave that blank, basically that means you didn't type a password, a temp password in there. So you're going to send a welcome email out to them. So I'll put a 0 there, say no, don't force a password change. You'll send a welcome email and they can set it themselves. Otherwise, you can do temporary password, say temp 2023, and make them change it when they come in. And then is active is always a 1. That means they're an active user in the system. So always leave that as a 1 next to every user. You can put a jersey number, a position name if you guys have those positions in the computer. A role name is always athlete unless it's a coach. You can only do 1 on this list on an import. So if it's a new coach, you have to do coach and add the athlete later if you'd like. And then training group full name. So the way you do this is you have to have the name of the main group as well as the subgroup with the little sideways caret in between them, with the arrow in between them. If you need to know what to type in, you can come to this import users and say, all right, training group full name, what are my available training groups? So if I click on that, it's going to open up a window to tell me what I have. So what I would do, for example, if I want to drop some people in a new demo group, what I would do is type first, I would type new demo group into my Excel file, the arrow over, and then their subgroup name, which is example 1. And that's how the system knows where to put them. So it knows the main group it's in and the subgroup that that athlete belongs to. And then I can do that with as many users down the line. So, and then James, yeah, example.org. Good deal. And I can just copy that training group down and I'm good to go. So that's how you add them in, every athlete. One thing I would say, make sure that their date of birth is 4-digit year. That's going to say that date of birth needs to be 4-digit year, a month, and a day. You can just leave it blank. It's easier to do so. Then you don't have to worry about formatting date of birth. So what I can do for these two is just delete it for the sake of time. And I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that in my system. And I'll show you guys how to drop that in. Make sure it's saved as a CSV. I come back in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit upload file. I have it on my system, so I'm going to go into documents, go into demo, and my demo drop group. I bring that Excel file over. It's going to upload it quickly for me. Now I'm good, and I submit for review. It's going to tell you if there's any issues or anything like that. If a user already exists in the system, a username or an email, it's going to tell you. If not, brings you to this screen, says, here's what you're going to drop in. Here's where they're going. You hit import, and that user now exists in the system, and away you go. So that's the mass drop and everything like that. The last thing I would just recommend is if you don't have a temp password, if you're not going to communicate with the folks how to log in, say John Smith 1, use your password, which was temp 2023, you can always go into settings, security, users, and you can grab your new users. And these are the athletes that I invited via email. So you can see they do exist, they are active, they just haven't activated their accounts yet. But if I go ahead and look for my Smith users, all right, I got John and Jane Smith. I'm going to select both of those and say send welcome email and hit apply. It'll fire that out. They can follow that link and they can log in, and away they go. So they're good to go from there. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to close this out quickly, and I'm going to open my email elsewhere. All right, so you can see here in my email, hello, Mike, time to activate your account. Your username is this. And this is the person that created the link. So I go ahead and hit activate account. It'll bring me up into a new window. And I'm in. It was because I was already logged in. That's my fault. They would then just enter in their username and password and get into the system. What they would see is this as their main overview screen. This is the athlete home versus the coach home. They'd see any exercise training plan that's been assigned, any questionnaires that have been assigned. They can load their nutrition and everything like that once they've onboarded. But this is what the athlete will see. They'll see your branding if you've changed it at all. Otherwise, they'll see just your install name on the top, and they're in. So they follow that link, they activate their account, and they're in the system, good to go. So that's really it for onboarding. Nice and easy. We can do another, obviously another webinar later on of the full athlete experience, different tools that they can use, how to flow through the training plan, stuff like that once they're in. So with that being said, any questions for me?